All right. For my apology, I was going to talk about bleeding all over Las Vegas.
Bleeding all over Las Vegas. That's great.
Yeah. And then, John, you'll do your, Joey, Sean, did you have an apology that you wanted to do, or do you want to, you're obviously welcome not to apologize for anything.
I was thinking of apologizing to Laker fans about Dennis Schroeder. Just how they really dodged a bullet, and it worked out really well for them.
That'll work. All right, so we'll do Sean's apology first.
Okay.
Then I'll apologize, John, and I'll talk about how I cut my thumb. And then John, you'll apologize, and then you'll go into your questionnaire about Summer League.
Gotcha.
I have to pull up advertisements for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Red Dog.
Sorry, here we go.
I wonder what Chuck lost his voice doing.
Let's save it.
I googled.
Save it for the show.
I can't say my theory on the new show under the new regime.
All right, here we go.
Prolonged cunnilingus.
A little Michael Douglas.
Disclosure.
All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith, here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with John Burr.
Hey now.
And I'm also here with Sean Keane from the very funny Round Ball Rock podcast. Sean, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. We're happy to have you filling in. Chuck is under the weather. Don't be afraid. He doesn't have COVID. He tested negative.
Miraculously.
Somehow.
Our relationship with Chuck goes like this. When Chuck can't do something, he sends in excuse. Like he sends in evidence.
Right.
Why? He knows that we do not believe him.
Don't believe him.
He sends in hard evidence. Often the evidence is falsified. Like he has sent in false evidence multiple times.
He sent in a COVID vaccination card that was clearly doctored.
Oh.
And it fooled John, but it didn't fool me because it was obviously doctored. But John was like, "Oh wow, he's got a photo. I guess he's right."
Tough,
so his excuse this time, and I'll let you know, my wife found it hilarious.
Okay.
His excuse this time is he has laryngitis.
Laryngeal.
So he sent us an audio file.
Yes.
I don't even know if I can find a way to
Can we play it? Can I play it on the phone?
You can try.
Talk for a bit.
You can try to play it into the microphone. Hopefully I can put it in a little bit better to the show.
Okay. What a special guy. Hold on. We text way too much. Where is it?
I love that he is basically treating you guys like the administration of a high school.
He knows back in the day we would record together. I mean, not even back in the day, pre-COVID, we would always record together. And John and I have seen him a dozen times get out of something in our presence where he calls a boss. Yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I can't make it. The radiator is kind of blew up," or whatever. And it's so
incredible nonchalant, like bald-faced lying, and like. Hey, I think you noticed it. Both of us would be just come taken aback.
We've seen this happen before live.
Yeah. So anytime he's unavailable, we're like, "Are you really down with?" But he sent us. You have a clip, John? You can play that.
I couldn't find it.
Yeah. Do you have the receipts?
Well, maybe Keith can edit it in, but it's all it is
I'll punch it in.
It's Chuck speaking, and then his voice cracks Brady.
No, I can't punch it in. It deleted itself after like an hour or something.
Oh yeah, because I just looked.
That's why you couldn't find it.
Because he knew it would end up on the podcast.
Yeah,
he sent it via Mark Cuban dust.
Yeah. So Chuck, I hope he's fine.
But look,
he has the voice.
We're giving Chuck the business, but Sean's partner in crime, I can really give the business.
Yeah.
Because Joey Devine has ghosted me to the point that he's not even on the show now to face me.
Oh, this is amazing.
Oh, really? I didn't know this.
I hung out a lot with Joey Devine in Las Vegas, and I'll have you know, John, he said, So I really ghosted John. He told me this out of the blue. He's like John was in LA and texted me, and I was like, yeah. And then I just never responded.
Just like
in real life,
no,
that's so much worse.
In person, actual John was in LA. Joey was in LA. Joey totally ghosted him, but Joey admitted to it while I hung out with him in Las Vegas, John. So
you know how like on Twitter, like DMs and stuff, you can like see when people have like seen your message.
Yeah,
like he's like seen all three.
Yeah,
just it's like interminable text dots. You know,
he has the read receipts on, and
it's like when Jerry's mad in Sphere. Sorry.
Oh yes.
I was just like, what did I do? I'm about to get killed by squids.
That's a great reference. Was that the first example of like instant messaging? Michael Crichton's Sphere.
He knew, man.
He knew how destructive that could be.
Yes. He knew how destructive silence is.
It would,
he
would make people imagine their worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how Sphere works?
Exactly. Yeah. That was the spoiler.
So Joey just completely ignored you too.
I thought
you were in a state you didn't live in, the big city of Los Angeles. You were fleeing garbage can fires the whole time. You had to podcast in a bathroom, and Joey Devine pretended like you didn't exist.
He got me pretty good.
That's pretty rough. Well, Sean, as you know, we start the show with breakfast. Have you had a good breakfast today or recently? You can tell us.
I wouldn't have said it was like a good breakfast. I mean, I just had peanut butter toast and coffee.
That's fine. Notable breakfast, that works. But do you have peanut butter toast much? I haven't had that since I was very young.
I didn't even eat it when
Sean,
I was young.
Are you very poor?
I know, it feels like I feel like I'm explaining. Well, and then my alternate breakfast is also like a poor man thing that's also a hipster thing where I will I'll make steel cut oats.
Ooh, that's
but
very
in
hipster.
Advance I make a batch. So sometimes I'll just be like
old steel cut oats
in a clump in a bowl and just heating it up.
Sometimes
I'll put an egg on it, but it really seems like gruel.
That's only on the weeks you can afford the egg.
Yeah.
That's funny because I just spent like a time in Los Angeles and I ate so much hipstery health food that this morning my usual breakfast, since my kid is sick, so I was home with the kid, couldn't send her off to the nanny share or anything.
Yeah.
So I had to be home with the kid. Usually I treat myself by ordering like a lavish 4-course breakfast from this deli that's mostly just pastries and like fatty foods, and like then I just hide it all. No one ever knows. It's just my secret to myself. But after being in LA, like where you're just shamed, like I was the fattest person for 300-mile radius. It felt like. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. So I'd still Uber Eats something, but Uber Eats like some kind, it was called like a Grecian delight wrap, and it was like super healthy vegan food. Inedible.
Oh, I'm so
half
sorry.
the wrap. I couldn't even do it. It was like, it looked like Vegemite.
So you're saying Tennessee health food is actually still way more decadent than actual Los Angeles health food?
It's just disgusting. Like Los Angeles health food is like amazing. It's like you have like avocado toast, and you're like, I did not know that avocado could taste this way.
Oh, I got it backwards. So you're saying back in Tennessee, trying to go with the health food, they don't have the technology.
It just tastes bad. It was just like Vegemite in a tortilla. It was so bad.
Yeah, it's rough. Well,
and now I get why Chuck is like not really vegan, just pretends to be vegan, because being vegan here it's not possible.
So speaking of Sean's poor man's breakfast, one of the poor man delights that was taken away from me when I was in Las Vegas. So I spent 5 days in Las Vegas. And one thing I noticed that COVID really affected was the walking back to your room, kind of poking through the discarded room service trays. In the pandemic, not as fun. You're like, I'm not like, oh, look, there's an uneaten cookie.
Yeah,
I can't have that.
For those without access to the YouTube show, that was some wide-eyed, stunning looks from Sean and I.
You've never picked through a discarded room service plate?
Oh man, no, I'm gonna put that like in a short story now.
There were some tiny unopened bottles of Tabasco. I thought maybe I'd risk it. Like maybe I'd take those back to my room, but no, I wasn't messing around. This was not the trip to mess around. My breakfast today My breakfast today, I'm back in the real life. Like I lived this fake world of Las Vegas, living in some bit of style, spending some money for an expensive hotel. Now I'm back in a world of carpool. I took my child to first grade in the carpool line for the first time of my life, dropping them off. And I'm masked up around my children because I've been in Vegas for 5 days. So we're doing I'm now wearing a mask like around the clock. And I put the coffee in the status symbol Yeti, but I couldn't drink it because I couldn't take the mask off. So it was just
you just raise it up to it anyway.
I just kind of smell it, just kind of feel it warm against my face. And then once the kids were dropped off, took the kid to first grade, took the little one to daycare. Then I just poured it in my face.
Mask off, Ario Speedwagon on.
Yeah. It was.
What do you listen to in the car with your kids, Keith?
What is it called? Mogwai.
There are a couple Mogwai songs they will tolerate. They will tolerate a few grown-up songs, but we usually listen to
old songs of the Confederacy.
No, we usually listen to Spotify mixes of Disney songs. I've listened to so many Disney songs, so much Alan Menken in my life. Even the movies I didn't care for, like the later ones, I now know them all, and I have passionate opinions about every Disney soundtrack released in like the last 20 years. So
I did a lot of nannying in Los Angeles, and in 2019 my top Spotify artist was Helen Reddy, because the little girl that I watched was obsessed with the soundtrack from Pete's Dragon from the 70s.
Oh wow.
And so it was like you listen to more Helen Reddy than 100% of Spotify listeners, and they do that year-end thing, and she was listed as basically best new artist. That's
incredible.
We have a war in my household.
This woman who's 74 years old now, best new artist for your Spotify, Sean.
We have a war in my household over, there's like a Sonos speaker in the nursery,
right?
And whomever is in control of it definitely purposefully uses the partner's Spotify playlist so that their algorithm is devastated less. And we don't really do music. We just do like a cacophony of ocean sounds. Like we're trying like David, like Christopher Nolan Tenet blasting our child to sleep at all times, and like just trying to drown basically put our child in a sensory deprivation tank 6 times a day. But both of, and as a result, just both of our Spotify algorithms are devastated. Like no one would take the hit.
Yeah.
No one would make the sacrifice. And it really is a perfect metaphor for our entire relationship.
I think my end of year Spotify was all the Frozen score. It was Christoph Beck who did all the instrumental songs. And then I'm not even sure. I can't remember who did the Tangled score. We listened to the Tangled score a lot. I know it was Menken, but I feel like someone else did the actual orchestral stuff, and that's the whole Spotify. I do try to play them some of like dad songs, and they yell like, no grown-up songs. I'm like super excited. Like there's like one Sufjan Stevens song they like. And there's like one, I play him.
Is it like I is for Illinois? Like
no, I play him the Walkmans.
It's the John Wayne Gacy song.
The Rat. No, that's funny. My wife was actually like, "Hey, don't play him that John Wayne Gacy song." I'm like, "All right."
It's clowns.
It's kind of lilting. It's kind of nice. It's like a lullaby. Oh my God. Anyway, those were our breakfasts. After our breakfasts, we moved to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on a previous episode. It's usually the first time we talk about the NBA. Now, Sean, you've been on before a few times, but obviously you don't have to apologize for anything unless like you want to. You haven't made a mistake on the show.
Apologize for Joey.
I'll apologize for Joey not answering that text message. I know he was a little bit sick allegedly.
Yeah, but, COVID's bad.
Illness is going around, I hear.
Yeah, but I didn't get a disappearing voice memo explaining his illness, so I don't think there's any way that you can assume that, right, without some kind of evidence to the contrary there. So I mean, I can't do that. Oh, I do want to apologize to Lakers fans who I made fun of about Dennis Schroeder. And I think they dodged a bullet there. I got to say they made a good decision not firming up that long-term Dennis Schroeder contract situation and saved themselves like $80 million.
Look, they did nothing. He did that for them.
He did that for them. That's true. That's true. He didn't really do right. Yeah, he did. The Lakers didn't do right as much as he did extremely wrong.
Well,
I can't tell. Is that worse than what Victor Oladipo did? I think it is.
I think it absolves Nerlens Noel at last.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That was because
Depot. I don't know. Like Depot, has had sort of a reason to believe.
Right. He had a devastating injury. And I think it's a little more defensible to say, maybe I don't want to be in Houston for the next 2 years.
I don't know about Oladipo because he had an offer from the Pacers that he also turned down. I'm pretty sure.
It was like 410.
I remember talking to Caitlin Cooper being like, you should be thrilled he turned that down. Like I wouldn't, like I feel like at that time Oladipo should have known to opt into the money. It's funny thinking about the Lakers being complimented for doing the right thing when they clearly did nothing. It goes back to the old Sean Marks days where everyone's like, Sean Marks is a great GM. And I'm like, bro, he signed Alan Crabb to a 4-year, $85 million offer sheet. He signed Domantas Sabonis to a 4-year, $50 million offer sheet that Motionis, excuse me.
Yeah.
Donuts.
Yeah.
Donuts Motionis signed it, but then screwed up the physical and the thing got voided. And he signed Tyler Johnson to that huge, and they were all matched. And so Sean Marks, I mean, you could say he did it on purpose. He tricked these other teams into signing these deals.
No.
It's like, no, we got lucky.
Because then he traded for that Alan Crabb contract.
He went and
without really getting
Crabb.
much back.
Yeah.
He was like the Chauncey Gardner of the NBA for a while, or if that's too weird a term, the Donald Trump of the NBA for a while. He just kept failing upwards, until he was in like a perfect scenario where you can't really look bad because you control everything.
That's true.
Well, I always think about that with Neil O'Shea and Enes Kanter, because he gave Kanter that huge contract that Oklahoma City matched, and then intentionally acquired Kanter twice after that. So
yeah, it's a good deal for the Lakers getting rid of him. It's a great deal for the Celtics getting him for $5.9 million. Yeah. And it's a terrible deal for Dennis Schroeder, who lost.
You guys ever read Neil O'Shea's Wikipedia page and just try to figure out how this all happened? Because he was just like an aspiring soap opera actor.
Yeah. And
I've heard his story before. I've heard it's like on the Woj Pod or something. I think I've heard his story.
Oh, really? I got to know.
I think it's your typical, and then my mom knew the owner of the Blazers, which is like a lot of
all NBA front office.
It's like,
stories.
what a great story. He was the intern for this team, and it's like, he's a family friend of the owner of the team.
Like he covered up a terrible thing on that yacht, that mega yacht Octopus. That's why Paul Allen owed Neil O'Shea. He did some. He destroyed all the video evidence of Ghislaine Maxwell on that yacht.
There's a mega yacht called Octopus.
Octopus.
How do you not call it Yoctopus?
Yeah, it's a really good point.
What? Sorry.
That's the most insane NBA owner yacht of all of them, I think. I don't think Ballmer.
What about Fertitta's new ones? Have we seen Fertitta's new ones?
I mean, Fertitta's new one is big and really expensive, but Paul Allen's has like a Jacques Cousteau style.
Yeah, not many people know this, but the Minnesota Vikings scandal sex boat was actually just ported in the Octopus's swimming pool.
Yeah, that's it. It's got so much Bryant McKinney DNA inside.
So
Brent Smoot.
Tillman Fertitta was apparently in the casino I was staying at one night.
Oh man!
Oh my God!
He was on the floor of the Cosmopolitan, and I missed him. And I guess that's my apology.
That's
I tracked him down.
Yeah,
isn't that the storyline to Time Cop? You could have stopped all this.
I could have stopped all this.
One well placed.
If I could go back in time and tell Fertitta about the Octopus, I think he would name it right now. No, my actual apology. It isn't basketball related, but I actually left an unfortunate blood trail through a lot of Las Vegas. I had an incident. John, if you need to mute me, I know you're pretty faint when it comes to blood. So I was hanging out with Joey Devine, who did not ghost me.
Son of a.
When I was in Las Vegas. Stayed out real late one night on Fremont Street. And I got to say, by the way, for anyone who's been to Vegas or who hasn't been to Vegas, like Fremont Street is old Vegas, and like they've made it this huge big thing. It's like a covered street with all this like computer light shows up on the whatever, the roof, the ceiling. Mm-hmm. It's spectacular. But it also, this year, was the most desperate I've ever seen it as far as the characters on the street. The number of obviously mentally ill, need attention people, the number of homeless people or derelict, like people who needed help from society in some way.
I think those were all just Dave DeFore.
It could have been the Duffer, but it was a more intense collection than normal. And it was more John Carpenter dystopia than normal. It felt like the film The Warriors. There were roving gangs. There were also like your normal, like touristy people. And it was a bit intense. There were way more like elderly naked people rolling on the ground. It was a lot.
Definitely before.
At one point we were just kind of like, it's like turned 1 degree too far. We're like, we're again, like, this is the bad 1984 from, or 1985 from Back to the Future 2. Like it was too much. It was like, and then you suddenly realize, like, your eyes were opened because it crossed some threshold. And then you realize, like, everyone working here is a senior citizen. Like this, this sucks. Like it was so depressing. But anyway,
that's what happened last time I went to Vegas. That's what happened to me. And there wasn't COVID. I was just like, this place is too decadent, even for me. Yeah, it's not for everyone. Yeah. But so this night went out very, very late. It passed the time. It was like 4, and I'm like, I got to go home. And I like tried to call an Uber, and the Uber was like 35 minutes away. And I was like, what? Oh, and you're staying at the Summer League, New Vegas is where I'm staying in New Vegas, and I'm hanging out at Fremont. Is this like a Fallout game? What's happening here? It really was similar to Fallout Vegas. I was staying much closer to Camp Mcrae, and I was way out. I don't want to be, but anyway, like the Uber was like, do you want to pay $42 for it to come 3 minutes faster, or just $35? And I was like, $42. Yeah. No, at that point I just gave up. I was like, 3 minutes, I don't believe in that. I'm just gonna go through. But anyway, so I go to bed at 5. I wake up the next morning. I'm using my phone. The phone seems fine. I go down, I get my coffee, and then I'm going back up to my room, and I notice my phone is like, the screen is shattered, and I'm almost certain it was not shattered when I woke up that morning. But this is a very hangover style. I wake up the next day and my phone, which I've had for like 6 years, iPhone, trusty iPhone, the corner's broken, kind of smashed. And so I'm like, all right, this stinks, and I have a smashed phone. Well, over the next couple of days, the phone degrades much like the Terminator's face, where like pieces are just flaking off. Like it's not just now the screen, like bits of the inside are kind of coming out. Oof. Like there's like exposed weird metal things showing. And I'm like, well, I guess I finally got to get that new phone. Anyway, I'm leaving the day I'm leaving on Friday. It's like 10 a.m. I have a 1 p.m. flight. I decided I'm going to go get my kids some presents, so they're happy to see me, which a parent will do. And I'm like, I know the Lego store is really nearby at this mall. I'm going to go to the Lego store, just buy them some Lego. This is also your kids some presents. Is this kind of a gift for yourself? This is 100% also a gift for myself. Let's let Sean, in case you don't know, every week when I go and pick up my comic books, I take a picture of whatever weird old vintage Legos there are, in case Keith wants me to buy them. Oh, well, that's not. You're a good friend. It's very nice of John. The first time I did it, I freaked out and bought several. It was amazing. But so I'm like, all right, do I have time to take a lift to the Lego store, a lift back to bag check to get my bags, and then the lift to the airport, because I don't want to mess around. Normally the Vegas airport's fast, but also missing the flights is the worst thing ever. So anyway, I call the Uber, and I'm assuming he's about here, and I get like the buzz, so I assume he's here. So I stick my hand in my phone, and the phone like eats my thumb. It splits my thumb. It splits my thumb open. And I was like, at first I was like pain, like, oh man, I cut my thumb.
I pull my thumb out and it's like on every finger there's blood. And I was like, oh, like it's like this is kind of a gusher. And so at that point my lift calls and I'm like holding my hand and the lift calls. He's like, hey, I'm here. I'm like, hey buddy, I just cut myself, but I'll be right out. So I go to the bar. I go to the nearest bar and I'm like, hey, can I have some bar napkins? Holding like a bloody hand. The guy's like, yeah, man. So I get
this is a totally routine thing in Vegas. Just 4 or 5 times a day, someone comes in just mysteriously bleeding, and they're like, yeah. So like, these and go.
So I grab the bar napkins and I press them on my thumb, and I'm like, oh, this, whatever. I'll apply pressure, it'll stop bleeding, and it's a little bit. It'll stop bleeding by the time. So I get in the Uber and like. Already, like there's visible blood on all my fingers, and
you're in Vegas. All that alcohol, you're dead.
Well, I'm holding this big clump of napkins that's already kind of like pretty bloody, and and the guy was like, "You all right, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, kind of. I just cut my thumb. I know it looks kind of bad, but like it's just my thumb. I'm good. And so he drives me to the mall, and I have a big backpack, and I'm holding my thumb. So then like he drops me off at the mall. I'm walking through the mall, and I'm like, this thing is still going. So I'm worried about like I need to get more napkins. So I actually go in the bathroom. I didn't think a paper towel would absorb as much. So I get toilet paper. So then I refresh the toilet paper. I go into the liquor store and I'm just holding my hand in my air.
Next time you gotta keep it above your heart.
Next time, stick it inside one of those Dyson like.
I could I'm holding my hand up, and I'm also in a hurry because I want to get these Lego things. So I go in the mall. I'm also scared the whole time of COVID. So I'm wrapped up like hat, glasses, mask, and then have my hand in the air like an absolute lunatic.
So this is very Cronenberg.
This is like
it's Cronenberg. It's also I felt like it was it was a John Wick movie. Like the guy who's doing the thing bleeding the whole is Keanu Reeves walking around with a bloody hand the whole movie.
You're Kevin Spacey in Outbreak when he tears his suit and he's like, this is it.
Yeah. So I pick out the Lego things really fast, and I'm like, all right, there's 2 things, and I'm doing it all with my left hand. I'm right hand. I'm doing my left hand. I'm like paying with my left hand. I'm opening my like child. I have the wallet of a 12-year-old. I have a Velcro Grizzlies wallet, and so I'm like opening my Velcro Grizzlies wallet, like getting the card out. I pay for it. I'm putting it in my bag. Now I'm like, I got to find an exit. Also, I didn't know where the exit was. So I ended up, I get back to the hotel, and it's like still bleeding. At this point, I go to the concierge, and I'm like, hey, where can I get a Band-Aid? How many Band-Aids around here? And so then I go to the front desk. I'm like, can I get a Band-Aid? He's like, yeah. I wrap it up. I actually made such a good time. I'm like, I'm actually early. Like, I don't need to go to the airport yet. I'm sitting at my Star Trek Next Generation slot machine. So I'm playing Star Trek TNG slot machine, and like I'm holding my hand still in the air, elevated. The waitress comes by. Is like, hey, do you want a drink? I'm like, I need some ice. Like, just give me a cup of ice. Like, I'm gonna try to like put some ice on this
cool
thing.
Cool it down.
Yeah. We gotta coagulate, man. Like what's going on? And so I get the ice. I start. That's like ruined my toilet paper wrap, So then I go back to the bar, and I'm like, hey, could you hand me some napkins? I don't want this time to actually reach and grab them because I know like my hands are contaminated now. I was like, can I get some more napkins? And then I go to the concierge. I'm like, do you guys have any first aid stuff? Like, do you have like a closure or like a thing? And I was like, or just more Band-Aids. I need more Band-Aids. And they do give me more Band-Aids.
Keith, you gotta burn it, man.
Yeah,
they like give a little blowtorch. Yeah.
So I end
just
up
do it.
So at this point, I'm like, now that I have extra Band-Aids, I'm like, I'm gonna go try to wash it. I'm gonna go try to like clean it up, see what's going on, if it's still bleeding. Also, this brings me to the Cosmopolitan bathroom design. Psychotic. Their hand washing stations, like the mirror is not solid. It is not a constant mirror. It's a little circle that just is for you, but it faces people who are also washing their hands in a little circle. So it's disorienting because you can see people who are in front of you, but also see your own reflection.
So it's like a Puff Daddy video from
Enter the
90s.
Dragon, man.
Yeah,
fight somebody.
I feel like
it
has to be made just to terrorize people who are tripping. Just when you're at the casino late at night, because like I walked in there in the morning, I'm very alert. I probably have a little adrenaline going, and I'm like, oh, there's a person right looking at me washing their hands. That's not right. Anyway, I wash it wrap it up. I'm feeling like, okay, like it's not seeping out of the Band-Aid anymore. I'm going to go to the airport. I make it through the airport. I'm still clutching bloody napkin, around my hand. Went to the whole airport. No issue. They're just like, this is Vegas. People walk through here.
Yeah. This is not that bad.
I also I was wearing glasses this whole time. I don't wear glasses. I don't wear a hat. So in my mind, I was like, I look like a Unabomber. Like I am in disguise. Correct. With this bloody hand. No issue. Again, over the flight, it finally stops bleeding. I'm actually amazed this whole time I didn't get any blood on me.
Right.
And then we get home, give the kids the presents. I also got them like a magazine. I'm like, hey, do you have a Lego magazine at the Lego store to go with the Lego gifts? And it turns out on the magazine there is in fact my bloody handprint on the back. I missed. Well, that's the only thing. The only thing I didn't notice was my wife said, "You left your mark on that," and I was like, "Oh." So some blood did get on something. Like I was the whole time. I'm like, this is amazing. I didn't get any blood on anything.
This story was so long and detailed that it smacks of the interrogation scene in Zodiac, where he's like, I got that blood on those knives because I killed a chicken for dinner. So when we find out that like the reason Joey's not here, didn't answer my text,
he's like, I can't talk to him. Yeah,
he's been beheaded.
We were out till the middle of the night. Keith can't remember how he broke his phone. He took this Uber, but we never knew when it was gonna arrive. Joey stayed out so late he had to re-up his hotel room.
I did, yeah,
because he was supposed to check out in the morning and drive back to Los Angeles, but he was just. I think they didn't quit until like 8 a.m. So he had to just go to the desk and ask if we could have the room.
I woke up. I set my alarm, I want to say on Thursday for earlier than I went to sleep the previous day. Like I went to bed at 7 on Wednesday and I woke up at like 6:55 the next day because I went to bed so early. It was
weird.
It was all
that is a disorienting.
It was. I'm still so messed up on time zones and body clock. Anyway, that was forever. John, did you have an apology?
I was gonna apologize for not going to Vegas, but now I kind of think I did myself a solid.
Yeah, you made the right choice.
But I will
deposed.
Yeah, right. I will apologize that I was so like crestfallen that because I was pretty close to Vegas. I could get there pretty easily. Yeah. I was so crestfallen that I didn't go to Vegas that you ever do that thing where like you delete like every vestige of like an ex-girlfriend so you can't like see her or anything like that? I did that with Vegas. Like I muted a bunch of accounts that we're going to talk about because I was like, I don't even want to know about this. I don't want to be jealous. Like, so I don't know what happened. Don't know what went down, if there was anything wild, but hearkening back to a tradition that began, I think 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah. A long time ago.
I did construct yet another. This is the original version of the now Patreon only croissant questionnaire. We're going to bring it back. Our Las Vegas croissant questionnaire. If Joey was on the show, he could answer also. But Sean, you can't answer any of these questions because you and I were sane.
I also was not there. I also felt bad. I felt
I missed you, Sean.
The fear of missing out. I know it would have been really fun. Yeah. I love seeing. I mean, honestly, Keith, hanging out with you and Katie Heindel is really the highlight for me of going to summer league. I mean, it's also fun to spend time
we missed
Joey,
you.
But I talk to Joey every day.
Yeah, you talk to Joey a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the original Las Vegas croissant questionnaire.
Vegas, 5 questions.
Okay.
Keith, what did you overhear more? Coaches asking their players to play defense or podcasters talking about Ted Lasso?
Oh, that's interesting. I actually didn't hear anyone mention Ted Lasso while I was there. So
sometimes Twitter is not the universe
the podcasters
that really exists.
weren't talking. I also didn't hear any coaches ask their guys to play defense. So
that's I was hoping it'd be kind of a
kind of a 0-0 tie. I think. Yeah.
I think I'm bailing out on that show, to be honest.
It's too
there's no conflict.
Yeah, it's too
like they resolve everybody's problems are resolved in season 1.
It's a warm blanket of hugs that I'm looking forward to putting on later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a staunch anti-Sudeikis policy that I'm not breaking for that show. 2, which freakishly tall male elicits the most awe from the Vegas crowd? Alperen Şengün or Nate Duncan?
Oh man, Nate Duncan. He's very healthy. He's a very healthy gentleman.
Yeah.
I don't
He
know.
he has abs.
Well, so I don't know him, but
Right.
this year, as is probably more stylish than me, he was wearing some short shorts, and his thighs have really toned up nicely recently. Like he looked incredibly muscular. I feel like other years I've seen him and like, that's a big guy. But if I had to, I could survive. Like if we went at it this year, I saw him and was like, good Lord, he would snap me in half. Even with my pandemic weight, even with my extra pandemic weight, he would just toss me like a child. Nate Duncan was the most impressive specimen I saw.
So I think there are two things that happened. One of them was that he had some milestone birthday. I don't know if Nate turned 40 or something, but he decided he wanted to still be able to dunk. And he also, I think, because he got some negative feedback from wearing down in that media game, that crazy like overdone media tournament, and Nate was real tired at the end. I think that actually lit a fire under him, and he felt like he
must train harder training.
I will.
By the way, my sister takes yoga classes from Nate Duncan's wife.
What a great connection.
I asked her, at one point she was like, my yoga teacher's husband has an NBA podcast. Do you want me to put you guys in touch? And I was like, who is it? And she's like, I think his name's Nate Duncan.
I was gonna say, I can't believe Nate Duncan had the balls to wear short shorts, but really the master of Hung Dong, I really shouldn't use that euphemism. Question number 3. Did I just mispronounce Alperen Şengün's name?
No, I think you said it correctly. I will say Şengün, very, very, very impressive. If we were looking for more impressive bodies beyond Şengün and Nate Duncan, got to give some credit to the Ömer Yurtseven, the Turkish center for the Heat.
We ought to baby Aitza boy.
And also, I mentioned him last episode in the report from Vegas. Can't say enough about Giannis Timas Flesh. It was otherworldly.
My gosh.
It was glorious. Yeah. It was amazing.
The replicant.
Every time he checked in, I was surprised. I could never remember that he was on the Magic. And every time he came in the game, I was just delighted. Like, I don't know, like a dog who forgets something when it goes behind a tree and then it comes back out. And he's like, there's a squirrel still here.
The guy who designed our logo, every year, me or his brother send him a fake Criterion collection of the movie Powder. And that guy kind of had some he seemed like he could electrify us all. Also, if I can't pronounce Şengün correctly, do you even go to Summer League if you can't pronounce it? That has to be the arbiter, right?
I don't know. I think most people there are just there to have a good time, try to figure out who the people are called. I don't even think most people attempt to pronounce foreigners' names. I think that's a American exceptionalism trait. So don't worry about it. You're doing a good job, at least attempting.
Okay, guys, who spent their money more frivolously? Now, I assume buffets are off the table, right? No buffets during COVID?
Very, very sad that the Vegas trip used to be about the decadent buffet lifestyle and eating as many calories as possible for breakfast. No, I didn't do any.
So I'm going to say
food.
You
situations.
On drinks.
Yeah.
You on drinks. Joey Devine on slots, or the Sacramento Kings on Davion Mitchell.
It might be Joey on the slots. He was a little loose with the gambling. This was a weird trip where I never felt comfortable for obvious reasons. And there wasn't nearly as much gambling. There wasn't as much drinking because like I'm wearing a mask and it's like we're all like on Fremont Street, like sipping stuff through straws, like out when we go outside, and it just feels weird inside the casinos. You forget how low the ceilings are in all the old casinos. You're like, I can touch the ceiling of the Four Queens. It's not as high as I might like.
Do you feel like there was less smoking because of COVID this time at Summer League?
It's a great question. Yeah, you'd have to think so because masks are mandatory indoors unless you're actively eating. You're not allowed to walk and smoke anymore. Like you have to be seated to smoke or vape now. And I do feel like on the strip, it was very noticeable where I wasn't bothered by smoke where, I mean, Old Vegas, sure, whatever. It's very smoky everywhere. But I think, actually the masks did prevent a lot of smoking and the crowds were down. There's no doubt like the crowds were down because of the the nature of it being a COVID hotspot and people avoiding it for travel.
Bloody armed Unabomber running around.
And me going like, do you have any napkins or adhesive?
Can I get a towel?
I also really feel like Summer League got a boost from the Lakers actually having young players for a few years.
Oh, yeah. Also, the Lakers not having anyone interesting definitely hurt the attendance.
Last question, and we will go to the patrons from our patron-only Slack chat. We'll go to Drew, also known as Feeling Minnesota, who asks, and feel free to chime in, Sean, who is your all-time Summer League starting five, where the starters are players who are much more prominent in Summer League than they were in the NBA itself?
Oh, that's a good one. So these are guys who didn't have great NBA careers. Like John Wall's one of the greatest Summer League players of all time, but obviously John Wall's a good NBA player.
Pretty bad NBA career too. I think you can put him on there if you'd like.
Well, I mean, he's an all-star. Yeah, Sean, you're definitely an expert on this too, so feel free to chime in.
So my backcourt would have to be Nate Robinson and Marco Bellinelli. I think Marco Bellinelli still has the Summer League single game scoring record. Actually, that might be Anthony Morrow.
It is in fact Anthony Morrow, who scored 47 points in a Summer League game. Nate Robinson, I think, he had a long NBA
retired
career,
his jersey. Oh yeah, he might be too good.
No, dunk contests don't count. Nate Robinson's a perfect answer.
So I think front court, you got to have Jack Cooley.
Oh my God!
Jack
what
Cooley
a legend!
Is the
MVP.
He's the all-time leading rebounder in Summer League history, and this is amazing. On Real GM, you can look up all-time Summer League stats, and he is second in games played. You guys want to guess who's first in games played?
Nick Kalathis.
It's impossible. Deontay Christmas.
Oh,
okay. Deontay Christmas is.
I was going to guess that guy that the Lakers let finish their season a while ago. What was his name?
Andre Ingram?
Andre something.
Ingram.
Yes.
Andre Ingram.
No. Deontay Christmas is the all-time leader in games and points and in Summer League history. I think Nate Robinson is a good one.
Because he played like 4 years or something like that.
This is
and he won an MVP.
This is one of Joey's favorite players. Anthony Randolph. Anthony Randolph was amazing in Summer League.
He was a Summer League
and
legend.
he was not good in the NBA. So
he wasn't. I feel like Anthony Randolph was like so loved by so many that he's like a legend to me. Maybe that's only in Spain though.
Do you know which Memphis Grizzlies have been Summer League MVPs?
Well, I know Josh Selby has been an MVP, and also Brandon Clark.
That's correct.
So,
yeah. Josh Selby and Damian Lillard shared a Summer League MVP once.
Yeah, I would almost put. I mean, like Ian Clark, he was in a Summer League MVP. Yeah. I think he wasn't any good.
Another guy that was incredible that I forgot he was even a player. Glenn Rice Jr. was the Summer League MVP. Did you remember that Glenn Rice had a basketball playing? So it's his child with Sarah Palin.
Yes,
obviously.
Thank you for getting there.
Yeah.
What about the big man? What about the biggest of the big men? You guys are
Taco Fall.
Okay.
I mean, Taco Fall was popular, but I don't think of him as dominating Summer League.
I mean, he was very, very exciting. I think Cooley's got to be.
I think Cooley. I'm going with Cooley and Randolph as my 5 and 4.
Okay. So we need a 3. I guess.
I think Nate Robinson at 1. I'm fine with sticking with that. Honestly, the Bellinelli pick, I think
pretty good NBA career.
Very good NBA career.
Yeah, that's the problem.
His greatest moments were in Summer League. Come on.
It's still the greatest.
That's not true.
I was so excited for him.
Here's a name that pops up, John, that you'll be familiar with in a lot of these all-time Summer League stats. Jordan Mcrae.
Oh, go Vols.
Oh, wow.
Jordan Mcrae did a lot of things. Apparently, Rondé Hollis Jefferson also did. Jarnell Stokes. Look at that guy.
Oh, my God.
This is where Vols go to die.
I think this is excellent radio. I'm now going to read the all-time games played leaders in NBA's Summer League. 1 is Deontay Christmas. 2 is Jack Cooley. 3, Aaron Miles. I don't know who that is.
He's a commentator. Played at Arizona.
I think he might
Beautiful
be a
blue
Warriors assistant coach.
Yeah, I think he's in. I think he might end up being in the front office even.
4 is Jarnell Stokes. 5 is Okaro White. 6 is Vander Blue, and 7 is Eric Griffin.
Vander Blue, didn't he like pitch for the White Sox in 1914 or something like that? What's happening here?
So
is this a rift in time?
If we're missing one player, I'm going to go. Is his name? He played for the Nuggets. It's not Darius Miller, but it's close to that. Who am I trying to think of?
Quincy Miller?
Quincy Miller. Thank you, Sean. Quincy Miller is my pick. That guy was amazing in his summer league. I'll take him. So we have Nate Robinson, Jordan Mcrae, or Marco Bellinelli, Quincy Miller, and then Cooley and Anthony Randolph. That's my all-time. Yeah. That's my all-time summer league starting 5.
I love that.
Pretty good.
I love that. By the way, Aaron Miles is now a Celtics coach. What he left this year. Yeah.
Well, there we go. What a great question.
Great question.
And John, thank you for the OG question.
I feel like I was there. I don't even have to go ever again.
I think the most entertaining player I've ever seen at Summer League, though, was Marquise Chris, because it was we started calling him the ride because it was all climbs and plunges the whole time. Like he committed 9 fouls in a game.
That's right.
He tried to fight Mo Wagner once. I mean, he had one of the greatest missed dunks I'd ever seen, where it was
non-Ja Morant edition, of course.
Mm-hmm. And then he had one where he, it's like one of the best live dunks I've ever seen, where he took off from almost in the free throw line, just stretched out, slammed it home, and it was at least 3 seconds after the final buzzer for the half. Like the move took so long. He should have just shot a 12-footer, but instead he did this insane dunk that was not even close to counting, and it was just tremendous. Like,
well, so they say you can't learn that much from summer league, but by missing that dunk, Marquise Chris then went on his rookie year, I believe, to set the NBA record in missed dunks for a season. So,
I think that's probably right.
You can learn some stuff.
Let me do one more question.
Well, what is it, John?
Because I lied a little bit. My apology, and watched a little bit of summer league.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it new this year how there was a bit of an approximation of the Elam ending because you had to score, you had to win by certain numbers of points to move up to second. That's always been that way.
Oh, that was.
It always goes to sudden death after one short overtime.
No, but
that has actually been there for a couple of years.
But what John is referring to is if you were watching on Sunday, teams needed to win by a certain number of points because
the team that needed to win by 29.
Because this year there's no tournament.
Yeah.
Okay. Every other year,
so that was unique.
There's a tournament that took a long time. This
and
year,
they're just championship game.
This year, they're just trying to wrap it up. Like they're trying to have the offseason be as long as it can be, even though it's going to be shortened. So this year, there's no tournament. There's just the top 2 teams face off, and the second tiebreaker essentially was point differential. So
the Jazz had to win by 29 or something.
Yeah, there were a lot.
They were doing it.
So I actually lost money. On the Pelicans had to win by 10, and they were 2-point favorites, and so I bet on them against the Warriors, and they lost the game. I was so mad. I was like, they have to win by 10.
That is a real lesson in.
I was like, surely they're going to cover.
Also, your all-time summer league coach should be Quinn Snyder, by the way.
I don't hate it. He's.
I used to bet on him so hard in summer league games because he was angling for that gig.
Oh, by the way, just as a little gambling tip for you guys, there are certain NBA coaches who NFL coaches who hate losing in the preseason. And I don't know if this is true because I haven't been following enough this year, but hold on, let me just
John Gruden.
This. Yeah, John Harbaugh has not lost a preseason game in 7 years or something.
Yeah, I saw the Ravens had won, I think 25 straight.
Yeah, and Gruden is another guy who just competitive to a way it doesn't even make sense.
Neither of those guys wear underpants and wear pleated khakis that accentuate their erections. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Well, those were our croissant.
Is so weird.
Questionnaires. If you want to submit your own question to be answered on air, you have to become a Patreon supporter. You do that at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. And it just now occurs to me that I need to crown a free agency game winner. which I obviously cannot do right now. We have to tabulate the results. We'll be doing that very, very soon. I'm sorry, the trip to Vegas took a lot out of me. But we play games year round. We have the Slack chat where we talk about everything. We'll be doing fantasy basketball before you know it. So if you want to get involved with all of that stuff, make sure you go to patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. Also, if you are a Grizzlies fan, make sure you download the all access, all-in-one Grizzlies mobile app, now featuring mobile wallet for contactless payment in FedEx Forum. Get 3 experiences with one app, including a fresh Grizzlies look and feel, along with access to FedEx Forum events and Grind City Media news and notes on all things Grizzlies, NBA, and more. From podcasts like this one to purchasing tickets, the new Grizzlies app has it all. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today at the App Store and Google Play.
Keith, have you seen any non-Grizzlies events at the FedEx Forum?
I haven't. No.
I mean, you don't live in Memphis, but okay.
I saw Tool at what's the arena? What's the old Mid-South Coliseum or something? I saw Tool at the Mid-South Coliseum.
I've seen a lot of Jerry Lawler matches at the Mid-South Coliseum.
Okay. I was gonna say like, boy, where would you go for live music? I guess. Living in Nashville.
Yeah, right. You're only half wrong. Like the big acts do kind of used to skip Nashville for Atlanta. Now I think we sort of get them, but now I don't pay attention nor know any live music acts names.
Yeah,
right. Like I'm kind of like, who would I see that where it wouldn't be a little bit sad for the band and a little bit sad for me?
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna go see Devo again. They're 79 years old.
Yeah. I guess we have a friend who it was sort of like a default drummer for a lot of garage rock bands in San Francisco and LA. So those guys are like,
how does everyone have that friend? Because I also have that friend.
Yeah. So like
goes to Japan and stuff.
So he's the drummer for King Tuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
but also like I know I've met like Ty Segall and the OCs before. So those guys. And I've like performed at a couple noise pop things in San Francisco. So there's a couple bands where I'm like, yeah, I should go because I sort of know that guy. And
you're practically in the band
show once.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and I work with Todd Barry a lot. And I think because he's a drummer, a lot of drummers like him. So we've weirdly met I've met like Lars Ulrich working with him.
And, tell me more.
We hung out with Cold War kids in Reno. Very exciting stuff.
Did you ask him about some kind of monster?
It's funny because we just both got really surprised because we didn't expect to see him because it was in the town of Rohnert Park, which is where Sonoma State University is. Like but it's not even that close to where Metallica lives. Like he's clearly a fan, and we were both so surprised. Yeah.
It was in your heart.
It's true. Yeah. So Lars shows up with this beautiful woman who's a foot taller than him. Comes up to Todd.
Naturally.
And Todd's so surprised he just goes, Lars, right? And it was like the coolest big time response he could have, but only because he was surprised. And Lars was like, great show. And then I really wanted to like yell Napster when he left. Right. And I'm like, why am I doing this? What did he do to me?
You can't troll online and in real life. You have
no. And like, what do I have against Lars? Really?
He tried to copyright a chord change.
That is true.
Anyway, let's do our steak and eggs best thing. What's the best thing you saw in the last week? John, what's your steak and eggs?
So Channing Frye did some commentary over the past few weeks, and there was a moment when a white dude with you have to say it, Chris Mullin-esque haircut drained a long three, and Channing Frye opined, you can't let a guy with that haircut be that open with the long ball. It was probably the best piece of commentary I've heard in, I don't know, since like Johnny Most died. Like it was very refreshing and beautiful thing. And it made me, I'm ready to give Channing Frye the stick.
Just that description. Was it Sam Hauser?
It might have been.
He's like this, like blonde, flat top looking white dude.
He had like one of those like guys who sounds like he wrestled for like John Eagle DuPont, like Van Valdevede or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. The commentary I heard the other day was Frank Fraschilla saying Ben Simmons is unquestionably a top 7 or 8 player in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's why he does
Wow.
SEC football.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Top 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I mean,
right in there.
I could see him making a 3rd-team All NBA, so maybe it's not too far away, but that was just a bold
Unquestionably.
Oh,
I always like unquestionably followed by 7 or 8.
Unquestionably.
Sounds like it might be a questionably.
Yeah, it actually sounds like you could probably expand that all the way to top 30. Like you're not that dedicated to this take.
Sean, what's your best thing?
I was very excited to learn that J.R. Smith is going back to school. I mean, he's not going back to school. He went to the NBA right out of high school. He's going to school at North Carolina A&T. That is an HBCU, and he wants to play Division I golf on the golf team. And he
charmed life.
He needs the NCAA to sign off on it because I think he has to establish his amateur status. But I'm pretty sure he hasn't played professional golf. Although I can also guarantee that J.R. Smith definitely has played golf for money. Like guaranteed. But it's just like, I don't know. I think it's funny to see J.R. Smith, a golfer. Like
it's an amazing story.
It's a sport you can drink. I bet and
I hope he plays.
He's pretty good.
I hope he plays Attica. I hope he plays Attica.
He's going to win the college national championship.
Shirtless.
Oh, he has to do Augusta shirtless.
If they win, because all you need in the college golf tour, it's it's a team event, but it's like one golfer is worth a disproportionate share. Right. So if he really is good, J.R. Smith could be. I mean, that's never happened before.
Well, this is like you have more
shots at it.
You have some of those sports where they do let older people come back. I think I was watching something one like Saturday afternoon.
It's usually just Mormons after going on a.
But it was like it was like men's lacrosse, and the best player was like a 32-year-old ex Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
And it's well, yeah, he's a grown man. Like he's like knocking everybody over. Like no one can stop him from doing anything. We used to have actually a lot of those in the ultimate frisbee world. People with college eligibility left, going back and dominating. I think J.R. Smith is going to be amazing. This is also kind of the plot to Necessary Roughness.
Yes, right. Yes, that's Sinbad's role. That's Scott.
What is the updated? What is necessary?
So generally, Well, JR is pure because he has not attended college. Generally, you have to be enrolled as a grad student for that to happen. And so, but JR is eligible because he's an undergrad.
So it's perfect.
Also, imagine like
in the dorms.
Is he going to the dorms?
I was going to think it's going to be like a reboot of Old School. Yeah. Like J.R. Smith's house is just going to be like a fraternity, and I have a feeling that maybe he's not moving his whole family to North Carolina. He might just be getting his own place.
The entire thing is just a Hollywood sports comedy.
Oh my god!
It's just like millionaire ex-NBA player who never attended undergrad enrolls in undergrad to play college golf.
Van Wilder or
laying
pipe.
I mean, they do what is that Amazon series called? Where they follow a team for 1 year.
Blue State?
Oh no, I know what you're talking about because I've watched several of them. But it has
there's there's an Arizona
name.
Cardinals one. There's
Hard
Man City
Hard
one.
Knocks.
No.
Oh, the Amazon one.
It's the Amazon Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like they have a little more range than Hard Knocks. So I would love to see the North Carolina A&T golf team for like everything counts or whatever they call it.
And JR is a businessman. He was probably just waiting for college athletes to be able to make money off their own image and likeness.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, that's so true. Well played. It's gonna
be the golf team's like these guys are doing unfortunately they can't do gambling or alcohol ads. I believe. But
we should see if we could sponsor. We do need to sponsor. Fastbreak Breakfast needs to sponsor a college athlete.
Sponsor a college athlete. Yeah.
We need to find the right one.
Glenn Rice III.
Yeah.
He's going to be ready to dominate Summer League in about 6 years.
I'll do my best thing, despite the harrowing blood experience and the desperation of the downtown Vegas. It still was fun to see Summer League, and I still loved watching the young prospects. They were all weirdly, like, all the big name first round picks. Everyone was good. Like, they all at least showed flashes where I feel like no one comes away from Summer League like distraught about their first round pick. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if like Corey Kispert is bad. But he looked all right. And then it's like the only first round pick who stunk was Santi Aldama, unfortunately, the 30th pick from the Grizzlies, who was one of the worst players I've ever seen play basketball. But
it's like 106 pounds.
But everyone else was like, they were super exciting. Like Jalen Green was amazing. Like Cade Cunningham, I missed his like really good game because I was watching the backup Grizzlies play, and I just felt like I made a horrible decision. I guess to justify.
Did you bet on the Grizzlies every time since they sent our actual team?
I bet on. Am I even allowed to bet on the Grizzlies anymore? Let me talk to my lawyer, John, and then we'll get back to you on that.
Well, second, Sean, if you don't know this, Keith does bet in like $2 to $3 increments.
Yeah.
So I think we're safe no matter what.
No, okay, I do like betting on Summer League games.
He always had action on Summer League, which is awesome.
I had a heater 2 years ago. I still came out ahead this year. I think it was like 9-7-1 or something.
Didn't you have a crazy parlay about 2 years ago? I feel like you had a 5-team parlay that came down to the last game.
I don't normally do the parlays. No,
okay.
That's not my way. But I did enjoy watching some of these players play, and I am going to throw out, just because it feels like the thing that a reporter needs to do. This is the deeply researched all Summer League team. There's no jokes here. These guys were good. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna recognize Peyton Pritchard. This is my first team. Peyton Pritchard, Jalen Green, Trey Murphy 3, who the Grizzlies traded up to get away from, Jaden McDaniels, and Paul Reed.
Paul Reed. Oh, I mean,
he's good.
He's a Joey Devine favorite. He really wanted the Warriors to take him instead of Nico Mannion or the unfortunately named or wonderfully named Justinian Jessup. Last year.
I love Justinian Jessup's name.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Did he fight with Stonewall Jackson? What is going on?
From Boise State. It's a crazy. It's one of the wilder names. But Paul Reed, I think he put up a 27 and 21 game.
He had 27-20 with 4 assists, 4 steals, 4 blocks.
That's amazing. That is a Summer League legend.
The Sixers,
and of course he's on the Sixers. Well, they always pick up these guys, and they have who's the amazing guy they picked up? Pickup? He was a 2nd round pick.
I don't remember. Well, I mean, they had
late though. He was like the 55th pick.
I mean, they got Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey was great. So I'm excluding some guys who only played 2 games in Vegas. So Tyrese Maxey only played 2 games in Vegas. I will give you some honorable mentions. Sharif Cooper, Cam Thomas, Chris Duarte, Jalen Johnson, our boy Xavier Tillman, Trey Jones, and Aaron Nesmith. Also, speaking of great names, like Bones Highland, he was good. That's another just amazing name. And
that was the last Summer League game I watched was Bones Highland.
So Bones didn't have a good first game, but he continually heated up as Summer League went on. And you mentioned Justinian Jessup, amazing name. Bones Highland, amazing name. One of the best things about Summer League is these guys' names.
Yeah.
And I have a little game here.
Great. Okay.
What's that song?
Dinklage,
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. This is a game of scones. This is our own Summer League tradition. What we're going to do for this game of scones, you can both play.
I'm in big trouble. Big trouble.
Was this player actually in Summer League? So is this the name of a person who competed in this year's Summer League? Or is this person, or is the name a recurring character from the literary world of John Grisham?
Oh, you might be in trouble now.
Yeah.
So our game.
I've read the Pelican Brief, huh?
Our game of scones is Summer League player or recurring character from the literary world of John Grisham.
Recurring.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's frightening. So
Sean,
this is in multiple books.
Sean, you are You're the guest. We'll let you go first, or you can pick. You want to go first or second? We're just gonna run through some names. Highest score wins.
I'll go first. Sure.
All right.
Aristocrat.
Mitch Ballack.
I think he's in the world of John Grisham.
No. Mitch McDear is.
Yeah, I was thinking the Firm.
The Firm.
There can't be a second Mitch.
Mitch Ballack played for the Sixers. That is we'll give Sean a strike. All right. John Lucian Wilbanks.
A Time to Kill.
Yes.
Boom.
You said the book.
Is he one of the abusive rednecks?
Yes, I think they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
No, I don't. Actually, I don't know. No, I think he's just the older. He was played by Donald Sutherland. In the film.
Donald Sutherland's probably played 6-7 guys named Lucian.
All right. Here we go. Stephen Domingo, Summer League player, or John Grisham character.
Stephen Domingo?
God help you.
I think he's a Grisham.
No, he played for the Spurs. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. They love players whose names mean something in Spanish. Like I really think that Josh Primo marketing. was a jersey sale draft pick.
They did it on purpose. All right, John. Elijah Pemberton. Elijah Pemberton. Yeah, played for the Warriors. Good job. Good for the Warriors. All right.
Lucian Wilbanks is actually a good guy.
There
sorry.
We go.
I'm sorry I said he was a racist or a rapist.
We don't want to get
just an alcoholic. He's just an alcoholic.
Could still be
he used to be the #1 lawyer in town.
All right. Are we back to Sean? Teddy Maynard.
Teddy Maynard. I think I'm saying Grisham again.
Good job. That's a Grisham. Grisham. He's the head of the CIA in 2 of the books I have not read.
Teddy Maynard.
Maynard. Well played. Going to you, John. F. Denton Voiles. F. Denton Voiles.
Seems like a trap, so I'm going to say Summer League.
Gotcha. It's Grisham. I knew you would think it was a trap.
Yeah. The fakey no fakey, as it were.
All right. Denton Voiles is off the board. We'll go to Sean. Jake Briggins.
Oh, Jake Briggins. He's the lawyer from A Time to Kill, I think. He's
well
played.
Well played. Yes.
McConaughey.
Yeah.
I think there's also another Jake Briggins book, but I'm not sure about that.
Jake Briggins also appears in A Time for Mercy and Sycamore Row. I don't know what those are.
3. Well, A Time for Mercy, I guess I don't know.
That came out in 2020. Thank you, John.
Sorry. I had a good one, but I lost it. I lost my voice. Yes, I think they didn't deserve to die, and I hope they don't burn in hell.
All right, here you go, John. Zacchaeus Darko Kelly.
What?
Zacchaeus Darko Kelly.
Can you use the word in a sentence, please?
I feel like you just named 5 different NBA busts and combined them in one
Zacchaeus Darko Kelly.
Darko Kelly. Is there a hyphen in there? Help me.
Hyphen in between Darko and Kelly.
Summer League player.
Yeah, played for Toronto. Well done. Reed Travis. That's yours, Sean. Reed Travis.
Come on.
I think this has to be a Grisham.
You're locked in on Grisham.
No, he played for the Knicks.
He can't do it. He can't say Summer League.
I'm like, Reed Travis. That's like Clay's brother.
Yeah. Oh, no, brother. Don't do it.
John, Olivier Sars. Olivier Sars. He played for the Grizzlies. Oh, John.
Oh, my God.
Oh, John he's upset. Oh, I knew. I did it on purpose to upset him, and now I feel bad.
SARS.
Yeah, Olivier Sars. That he plays for the Grizzlies.
Great pandemic signing.
Yeah.
John, you're only up 3. You're only up 3-2, COVID. I believe, if I've scored this correctly. We have a couple.
You should dock me a point for that.
Cullen Russo.
Is this me or John?
This for Sean.
I just pooped my pants.
Cullen Russo.
Summer League.
Yeah, that's right. Grisham doesn't name people Russo. Yeah. That's very
unrealistic.
Pretty sure he wasn't like a bad guy in Pelican Brief.
Right.
So weird that Stanley Tucci plays an Eastern European assassin.
Oh, I rewatched Pelican Brief 2 weeks ago. It is insane.
Nude
It's
John
really
Hurd.
Shirtless. He's not nude.
You see his butt?
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
His dead butt.
I believe you. Those are the things I would remember from my childhood.
Yeah.
Are we on our last one? Theodore Boone.
Damn.
Theodore Boone. To you, John.
I'll go Grisham.
And with that, you have won the game. That is a correct answer. Theodore Boone is...
and Boone goes to dynamite.
He's a child in... Oh, apparently John Grisham writes books called Theodore Boone. There's a series
he's
of
a kid lawyer. There's
he's
7 Theodore Boone.
Encyclopedia Boone over here.
This is so good.
My unused Grisham name that I think I could have gotten you with was Sebastian Cullen. Like that sounds. No, Sebastian
that's a Grisham
Rudd.
name.
Sebastian Rudd sounds like a Summer League player to me. But,
I would have picked Summer League there.
Anyway,
you would have said Grisham.
I would have said Grisham every time.
Well, congratulations, John.
Why am I lying?
Sean, thanks for playing. Let's move to the worst of week. Sean, what's your worst thing you saw? What's your cream of wheat worst thing?
Okay, so this is technically not a new event, but it came to light because that Giannis biography came out. It was a story about Jason Kidd going into... We'd already gotten excerpts about him going full Great Santini on his players, just getting fully abusive, bouncing a basketball off Giannis's face while Giannis is like, this is making me stronger. It's making me stronger right now. There's an excerpt from a book about how... the Bucks lost a game. This must be in 2013, I think. No, 2014, I think.
I'll look it up.
It's his first year as the Bucks coach, I think. And they lose a game on December 23rd, and they had the next 2 days off because they weren't playing on Christmas because they weren't very good. And Kidd made them do an insane practice the next morning at 9 a.m. Just like running suicides, apparently doing pool workouts, even though half the team couldn't swim, and individually singling out Larry Sanders.
I was about to say, while flogging Larry Sanders.
At one point, Larry Sanders asked if he could be excused to go to the bathroom, and Kidd said something like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. We'll wait for you and we'll run when you get back." And instead, Larry Sanders left the practice facility and checked himself into a hospital because his whole body was cramping and he had like heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So that's not great. And also Larry Sanders never played again after that. That was it for his NBA career. He left and he didn't come back.
Yeah,
and that was my worst thing because
that was Christmas Eve 2014. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so also Larry Sanders spent Christmas Eve in the hospital.
Yeah, cool.
For that.
And none of that was reported. It was always reported at the time as like Larry Sanders is like basically smoking marijuana.
Oh yeah, he just wants to skateboard. Yeah,
and like he's didn't want to play, and it's like no, he was abused, and then
Yeah, he was like sent to the hospital.
Yeah, his body took him to the hospital, and now he tried to come back with the Cavs like 3 years later, but like that was the end of Larry Sanders' career was Jason Kidd abusing him on Christmas Eve.
Yes,
Sean, you brought up the Great Santini.
Yes.
Would you like to hear my perfect impression of Robert Duvall's laugh?
Please. It's very good.
That was good.
It's also chilling.
I would say that's chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was amazing. John, what's your best thing? I mean, your worst thing. What's your worst thing?
Well, it probably should be me not knowing who Olivier Covet is, but I'll go with the Grizzlies are not giving me enough time to depreciate these bums that we bring in these different sundry trades. Like I should have had 6 to 7 weeks of Dwight Howard jokes. I should have had many Eric Bledsoe like mash up Tim Robinson. I don't want to be around anymore.
Yeah.
Jokes. I have been deprived of Andre Iguodala, Silicon Valley billionaire being stuck, on Beale Street. These moments stolen from me, gone like tears in the rain off of that Danish player's cheeks. Like, it's just not fair. I need this, and it just doesn't happen anymore. Our front office is too savvy. If I don't get some weird Pat Beverly stuff this season, I'm going to be apoplectic. If I don't get Rajon Rondo spitting into another player's mouth surreptitiously, I'm going to be apoplectic.
This is your moment. You need to make fun of Rondo now. He's not going to be here very long.
Who do you think they're both getting bought out? Because don't the Grizzlies have a full roster?
Yeah,
basically?
17 dudes, right? I feel like this is just like easier to move pieces, but I actually don't know anything, Sean.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't ever.
Might I recommend downloading Grits and Grinds? Also available.
No, that is a Dylan Brooks
Grind
propaganda podcast. That is a Dylan Brooks propaganda cast.
That's true. It's all propaganda. No, yeah, they broke up the undigestible piece into smaller, more chewable pieces.
Right. I feel like this is just like easier to move these guys.
They got
these guys.
Bledsoe's owed money for next year.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It seems like maybe someone would take Rondo. Like,
it happened twice last year.
You're telling me Tom Thibodeau doesn't want Rondo?
Yeah.
I mean,
just trade him for the playoffs.
I mean, I assume if Rondo is not sent to a team in the next few weeks, he will be bought out. Pat Beverly, I think, is going to join the team because unless they trade him. They didn't trade to get Pat Beverly. They traded to get the salary
that slot. Yeah.
And it's an expiring salary where Bledsoe's contract was not expiring. Daniel Oturu, who leads the NBA Summer League in personal fouls. He would be a great fit with Dylan Brooks on the fouling front.
Jaren Jackson
and
Jr.
also with Patrick Beverly and also Jaren Jackson Jr. But I don't think Daniel Oturu is going to make the team. I think he'll be waived. So, yeah, I think Pat Beverly will probably be on the roster.
Does anyone know Chris Paul's middle name?
No.
Is it Cliff? Until Pat Beverly's assassination at the hands of Clifford Christopher Paul during these playoffs, I would have welcomed Pat Beverly onto the Grizzlies, but he was so completely erased from time and had his loop closed so completely by Chris Paul that I feel like there's no way he can have worth to any team ever again.
Chris Paul's middle name is Emmanuel.
Okay.
It's Christopher Emmanuel Paul. My worst thing at Summer League, watching a Celtics game. I don't know the player involved. I'm sorry. Didn't know who he was at the time. I didn't go back and look up his name. But in the gym, this guy was playing, and his jersey was untucked.
Uh-oh.
And it might have been Chris Paul, actually, in the crowd.
Here he comes.
But in a mostly sparsely populated Cox Pavilion, this fan yells, "Hey," whoever the player was, "you play for the Celtics now. You tuck your jersey in."
Oh, no.
And it was just like...
That was my dad. That was my father.
It was just like... It was Ryan Russillo.
You tuck your jersey in.
But he said, "You play for the Celtics franchise now. You tuck your jersey." And it's one of those things where the gym is pretty quiet. No one's there. And it was like...
He waited for that
moment. That dude pulled his mask down to yell that. Just hearing that sentence, I was like, that's got to be one of the worst people in the world.
You can send messages in the Cox Pavilion, I feel like, too. Like, I firmly believe that our rabid enthusiasm for Jack Cooley in the Cox Pavilion with Vivek there got him a contract.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cox is the best because it's the smaller gym. If you don't know, it's like a small college or like a high school gym, essentially. And so in a good healthy year where it's fun to be packed close to everybody, that is the raucous atmosphere. You love it because it's claustrophobic and it feels like that again, like the high school gym. This year, it's like, I don't want to be in here. People are too close. But also,
I don't want to be around anymore.
It was underpopulated, so there weren't that many people there. You can hear the players talking. You can hear this certainly racist person yell this to the player, and it was kind of a big bummer. Anyway.
Hey, you like them apples, Keith?
Yeah.
It's time now for the awards segment of the program. That's right, the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award. It's given each week to the worst performance in a box score. I actually did the legwork here It might not be totally accurate, but I clicked through a lot of box scores to find the worst shooting performances from Summer League. There were lots.
It's just Vegas, or did you go to Utah? Did you go?
No, this is just Vegas. Just in the last week. Honorable mentions: we had Zeke Naji 0 for 9, Rob Edwards, Tremont Waters,
John Grisham character,
Santi Aldama 1 for 9, Zaire Williams 5 for 18, and Ishmael Wainwright 1 for 10. But let's see. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3 nominees.
Okay.
Actually, we're gonna make Kyra Lewis an honorable mention with a 1 for 11. We now have 4 nominees. Santi Aldama of the Memphis Grizzlies, 1 for 13, 6 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul. Miles McBride of the Knicks, 2 for 14, 4 points, 4 rebounds. No, 4 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound, 2 steals, no turnovers.
That's not that bad fouls for the bailiff from the Rainmaker, honestly.
And now Jay Scrubb of the Clippers.
Oh,
I mean, what a great name. What a great name for a bad shooting night. 2 for 13, 6 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 3 turnovers, 1 personal fouls. And our 4th nominee is Jay Scrubb from the Clippers. And my notes only say 4 for 20. I don't have any other stats for this one.
I mean, that's pretty tight.
So we have Santi Aldama, 1 for 13, 6 points. Miles McBride, 2 for 14, 4 points. And then Jay Scrubb, 2 for 13, 6 points. And Jay Scrubb, 4 for 20. I don't know how many he scored or what else he did.
I just want to mention that Miles McBride's nickname is Deuce, which is another very legendary name. Unfortunately, I think he's not quite good enough at basketball to stay on the Knicks, because that would be cool. I'm picking the 420 game from Jason.
All right. Well, you did a great job filling in for Chuck. I'll go with Santi Aldama. 1 for 13 sucks. That's the worst.
I don't want no scrubs. I'll take Santi Aldama because he's too damn tall to go 1 for 13.
That's a very good point.
Tall.
How tall is he, Keith?
He's about 6'9". He's not an actual.
Okay.
I think he's only 6'9". He's not an actual 7-footer.
Oh, that's right. I watched him play against Horizon League guys or whatever, so I thought he was 7 feet.
Is he supposed to be a shooter?
He missed his first 15 threes of summer league.
Oh dear.
He did make 5 of his last 14 shots.
The crazy thing
is
he
finished 8 for 43 in summer league. His inside game that's like the most concerning thing. He shot these little like quick shot floaters on like, instead of like a hook shot, it's like, dude, you're like 6'10", just put the ball in the basket. He was like scared of the guy. It's like the time in church league, I played a 6'10" guy. I know what to do. I'm like, I'll shoot a lot of arch, and he was blocking out of bounds. And I was like, I didn't.
He was afraid.
Yeah,
makes sense. I identify with it, and now like him.
Well, congratulations, Santi Aldama. You are this week's International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award winner. I mean, honestly, the real Stackhouse man at Summer League with the most Stackhousian stats is Jordan Nwora from the Bucks, who averaged 20 points per game on 21 field goal attempts. He averaged 7 for 21 from the field. That's what we're talking about.
In a new category.
Yeah, that's the real Kobe action that we like to see. That's a true Stackhouse man. Anyway, par fadeaway, gentlemen. Closing up the show, what things are we looking forward to in the coming weeks? John, what's your par fadeaway?
On Netflix, there is a documentary on the most seminal and important sporting event of mine or anyone else's lifetime, the Malice in the Palace. And I'm definitely going to queue up some kind of group watch amongst our Patreon supporters sometime this week or next, because this is a moment we've all been waiting for.
That's a good one.
Get your dustbins ready, boys and ghouls.
I want to watch it. Can we get Brentwood Academy's own David Harrison, who was a participant on the Pacers in the Malice in the Palace?
Wow.
I mean, I wonder if he lives around here. Brentwood Academy is in a suburb of Nashville, Tennessee, for those of you not in our immediate listening area.
For everyone.
That's right.
Besides Keith and
I. Sean, what's your par fadeaway?
I'm going to use this to do a little bit of self-promotion. I'm recording a comedy album at the end of September. COVID willing on September 29th at the San Francisco Punchline. So that should be
I was about to say, no, you're not.
yeah. I'm like, let's see. Get vaccinated, San Francisco. We'll see. We might have to juice some of that reaction. I did find out when I signed the record contract, I was like, it says I got to record this in 6 months. Is that okay? And he was like, I'll just send you the identical contract. If it's like he basically said that Jimmy James news radio, this isn't a deal with magical elves. Like, this is grown. It's just, that's what the contract says. But don't have a if anyone has any suggestions for titles or wants to come, if you're in San Francisco on Wednesday, September 29th, should be fun. And I'm going to find out what old jokes could be recorded and retired and which ones just don't work anymore. I don't think I can do the hearing about bin Laden's assassination on Sports Center joke anymore. I think it's been too long.
Now's the time, man.
Afghanistan's gonna make it too sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did find out about it on Sports Center, but
was it Shams?
No, it's pre-Shams, unfortunately.
Man,
it would be great if Shams was breaking hey, the Taliban took over another city.
I found out about the Taliban taking over Kabul on Pinterest, so
yeah,
I get it, man. It's weird out there.
I should probably tell you guys, if you didn't see it where I posted it on Twitter, Shams Charania got in a war that I witnessed very close firsthand.
Oh yes,
with a security guy at the just one of the ushers at Thomas and Mack, where there's all these areas where I had a press pass and I didn't know which, honestly, some places like can I go sit there? They're just seats. I don't know any better.
Go, man.
But anyway, yeah, I just go. That's normally my thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, hey, you can't go over here. Oh, my bad. But Shams was just standing up talking to somebody in a not very full arena. And this 75-year-old usher was like, hey man, you can't stand there. And Shams looks over at him and then just looks and keeps talking to the person. And then it's like, hey, buddy. And he starts clapping. The usher starts clapping at him to make sure he sees. And then he walks up to him. He's like, you can't be here. And then they take 2 steps. They go back 2 rows and then go sit down somewhere. But this guy's like eagle-eyeing him. He's like, no, I see you. And he's starting this. So this starts yelling at him like, you got to get out of here. And then he walks up, and so then they walk back to the media section where they're allowed to be, and then I'm like, man, Shams just got thrown out of the lower section. Honestly, kind of strict again on the security guard's part. He's not taking anybody's seat. I assumed I could have gone and sat where Shams was going.
Right. Yeah.
Observe and report, baby. You got to do that.
It
job.
Didn't feel like he was abusing anything.
Do you think he was being racially profiled there? Do you think
it was racist? He could have been. But then,
do you think?
Because Shams Charania is very small, petite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know his ethnicity, but he's
Here's what I'm going to ask. There was a rumor that Shams were in lifts this year at Summer League. Do you think it could have been that his listed height didn't match what they had in the information, and they were like, this is an imposter? This says clearly that Shams is 5'3". We're measuring at the combine now. We're strict with those measurements now.
I think racial profiling. So I looked it up. I was curious. He's the son of Pakistani immigrants. This guy might have been racial profiling him.
I think he might have. Yeah.
One more thing. This was a Woj bomb. Everybody knows it. Woj sent that security guard.
He told the security guard to shut him down.
Easily done.
Well, so this is what this is what Shams does. Shams eventually walks back down, boldly, brazenly, head held high, and sits next to Mark Lowry, the new owner of the Timberwolves. So
wow.
So then
A-Rod's best friend.
Yeah, so he walks past him, talks to another security guy, sits down by Mark Lowry. The other security guy, who's been the one throwing him out, he kind of comes over and Mark Lowry's like, no, he's with me. It's fine. And then that was the end of the exchange. I hope nothing happened to that security guy.
Right.
I hope he wasn't fired or or something.
This story might not have a very happy ending.
Might not. It's the Larry Sanders Show episode. I didn't want him fired. I don't want him fired. Anyway,
Didn't Larry Sanders start a business not Gary Shandling, Larry Sanders.
Not the Gary Shandling. The
excoriated Jason Kidd victim. Larry, didn't he just recently start a business?
I believe he has a weed-based business.
Yeah, I think he's getting into that. So good for him being an entrepreneur, getting back what he's owed. Yeah. My part faded away. I'm looking forward to the continued machinations of the summer, the player movement. Where will Rondo go? Where will Pat Beverly go? Eric Bledsoe now on the Clippers. Do you guys know who the Clipper who's played the most games is on the current Clippers roster is?
Oh my God. It's got to be Paul George, right?
It's Eric
Bledsoe. It's probably not.
No, it's Eric Bledsoe.
Zubac? Oh, it's Eric Bledsoe. Oh,
it's Eric
Bledsoe. Oh my God.
His first stint as a Grizz.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
he's
incredible.
Zubac is second, Eric Bledsoe is first. And I'm just excited how the summer league goes. And then maybe it'll be a little peace and quiet. Is peace and quiet coming in the NBA? Like, are we taking a break soon? I don't know.
There will be no peace and quiet on this planet. For
summer league wraps up tomorrow. And that's right. There's no more peace and quiet. I'll probably go to a school board meeting. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe make a sign. Things are getting violent in the South. Yeah. I don't know if you're.
Oh, that's right. Because Tennessee can't report COVID cases for children, right?
Well, so no, we're not in that camp. Our health department can no longer advertise vaccines to people.
Cool. When you can't get one as a kid
disease. You can't advertise any vaccine anymore. And now the governor keeps making these executive orders that say school districts can't require masks. And the school districts say, we have read the governor's new order. Masks are still required. So like we're now at your law is not our law. So it's not going to end
so
well.
They're going to send in the National Guard to elementary schools to keep people from wearing masks.
100%. The Republican governor will eventually probably threaten to send in the National Guard to take masks off children. Yeah. It will be amazing. And my
Can't wait to move. Can't wait to move.
You have any recommendations for states to live in? Yeah. I am open to them. Also, I've researched truancy and homeschool. So it'll be lots of fun.
They both have the same effect, so go for it.
That's right. That's right. They both lead to the same place.
Keith, are we getting the free agent game? Do we get the free agent game winner on the episode or
no? I can't tabulate that. I'll announce that in Slack, and then we'll announce that in an episode later this week. If you want to support our show, do that at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. Check out the Round Ball Rock podcast that Sean is a host of. Want to follow me on Twitter?
Don't mention the other host, please.
Oh yeah, sorry, Joey. John, he lost his phone died. No, I mean Joey's phone died. Sorry, John.
Yeah,
did you cut your thumb on his phone, Keith? What happened?
I was like, don't take it back.
I think Joey's phone is also cracked.
Yeah.
But,
anyway,
I don't think he's bleeding.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. I don't know. Wherever you can follow us and write those 5-star iTunes reviews. It's been a while. Hook us up. Anyway, you guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Gentlemen.
Big show.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Thanks guys. Sean. This was fun. All right.
Bye.
See you. Bye.